Good morning. This is being streamed. Good morning, everyone. Oh, we're not connected.
Your calendar is up.
Good morning.
Yeah, switch your screen, John.
We're still connecting to audio, so we have a second before we can get started. Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone this morning? I hope we're having a great morning. I know it's a little early, but it's okay because we're going to get it done. Let me see. Today, John, your screen is showing a different screen.
You looking for tattoos, John?
My apologies for that.
No worries. No worries.
Good morning.
Good morning. Here I am. Good morning. My name is Mariah Robinson. I am a teacher and a makeup artist. Today we'll be doing a simple but elegant look for Valentine's Day. So if you're going to do some makeup, you can run and go get that now. If you're not, we're going to hang out and you can learn something new, hopefully. Or we can just enhance the skills that we already have. But I appreciate you and I'm so happy for you to join us here this morning. Once again, my name is Mariah Robinson and we're going to be doing a Valentine's Day-ish look. So within the chat, and good morning, Facebook, within the chat, can you put your level of how comfortable or how much you know about makeup, like on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being absolutely not, what is this? And 5 being like, I got this. I'm just here to support you, sis. How comfortable are you in your makeup knowledge, or how comfortable are you in putting it on your face? Once again, I am Mariah and we're gonna be doing our makeup. So if you would like to join me today, go ahead and get everything, maybe not everything, I don't know what you have, but get some of the things that you think you might need, your basic necessities. We have a 3, so right there in the middle. I'm good. Can still learn some more. You can always learn something new.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to see you all here early this Sunday morning. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to come and hang out with us, and we appreciate you. So once again, my name is Mariah Robinson, and we are here to play in makeup. Let's learn something new. Let's enhance what we already have. I asked earlier, on a scale of 1 to 5, how comfortable are you in your makeup experience, knowledge, application? We had a 3, I think we had a 2, and we're here to kind of elevate that if you want. Or we could just be trying to learn something and watch and grow. So we're gonna start. We always start when we do our makeup, we always start with primer. And so I use the Fenty primer. You can't really see it because it's white writing. And I use the CoverGirl primer, and can't really see that either. I feel like a YouTuber. Hello, good morning. Both of these primers for me, they're pore minimizing and they're mattifying. And so it helps me to have a blank slate. But what's always really important to remember that the perfect foundation and application to your makeup is a good skincare routine. And so when your skincare, when that foundation is strong, then everything else just goes on like butter. So make sure that we are taking care of the undertones of makeup, because your best skin is the skin you're in. So primer, the reason that we use primer is it's like you can't put 2 pieces of paper together and expect them to stick. So your primer would be sort of like your glue to make sure that your foundation or your product is staying on your face where you put it. So you don't, Teacher Mariah's coming out. So just a dot, not a lot. Your face generally is not that big. And so I put just like a pea-sized amount of the primer on. And then I put 1 pump of the Fenty on, mix them together, and just pat them into my face so that it is absorbing into my skin. Now, you're not going to put this on your eyelid because your eyelid is naturally oily. And because it's naturally oily, this primer will not sit well. And so it'll cause your eyelids to crease. And so you know how throughout the day, you'll have your makeup on and it looks great. And then later on, you can see the crease lines in between, usually where you open and close your eyes. So you'll see that line and it'll start creasing and it'll look a little different. So that's because either you don't have primer on, or it is not the correct kind of primer. So I'm using this morning, it's just the NYX. It's just a clear primer in a wand form. But you also can use a pot primer, which this is once again the NYX primer, and this is flesh. It's called Flesh Tone, but it's skin tone primer for your eyelid. So we're just going to go ahead and use the wand primer. I like to put my primer on with a brush when I can find the one that we're going to use this morning. So I'll put it on using the wand, of course. And then we'll go through and just make sure that we have a very even layer of the primer. Trying to make sure that I turn so I can still see and that you can see me. Same thing on both eyes. We want an even layer of the eyeshadow primer. It does give a little bit of a cast or like a white, not film, but it does, you can see that. So when you put on your eyeshadow, what will happen is that will cover up and it makes your eyelid all one color. And so when you put on your eyeshadow, you can have a smooth base or a pretty flat finish, so that the only thing that is showing for your eyeshadow is what you put on versus your skin showing through. So we are going to start this morning after we've put on both of our primers. I like to start with my brows because depending on how heavy my brow is, generally is how heavy my the rest of my face is. So I'm using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and here it is. And the color is Espresso. So I like this because it is very small. So it comes with two ends. You have a very small pencil crayon end, and on the other end, you have its own spoolie so that you can brush your brows in the appropriate direction. So in the front of my brow, we're going to brush up, and then in the back of your brow, you're going to brush in the direction that the hair has naturally grown. So we're going to brush up just in the front, and then kind of like in a circle motion, we're going to brush it so that we can fill in. I have gaps in my brows. So we're going to fill in some of those gaps with the natural hair before we go in and fill it in with the product. So once again, we're going to brush up and then kind of over in a circle. Circular motion. Now with the other end, you just want to turn up so it's just a little bit, because you don't want to break it, but you also don't want to be too heavy. So when you're using any of your products, whether it be your brushes or anything like this, you don't want to hold it like a pencil, because then you add a lot of pressure. So you're going to hold it towards the end, and more so just kind of move your fingers or your wrist very slowly and lightly to ensure that we're not coloring, because we're not coloring. We're just filling it in a little bit. So in the front, I go up and down, and then on the sides, I'll really just fill in where it is sparse. I'm going to grab this mirror to ensure that, once again, you all can see. So very lightly, we're not going heavy at all, because we still want a natural look to our face. So it's nothing super heavy. The farther back you hold on your pencil, for me, the more control I have, but also the lighter it is. And so it's not too dark. And we're not pressing down very hard. We're literally very lightly. Like at first you're gonna like, is there product coming out? I promise it is coming out. It's going to warm up to your skin and the temperature of your skin, and then it's gonna come out. But I promise you it's coming out. Unless your pencil just isn't sharp, of course, but. And then you go in.
Mariah, as you're modeling and demonstrating, I'm just engaging the audience, family. Good morning, everybody. Just to see if there's any questions so far. Does anybody have any questions regarding the process so far? And also, I had just a general idea question, just based off of, before you get into technique, the hue and the complexion of skin, should people be factoring in certain type of products that they might use? And also, if those who might have some kind of reaction or are more into organic products, are there any recommendations that you might have?
Those are awesome questions. So yes. So there are different skin undertones. And so the best way for me, I actually go into the store and test it out on, don't do the back of your hand, because that gets more sun. I'll do the inside of my arm. And if it matches more so the inside of your arm, then it's more likely to match your face, or even matching this part of your neck, because you don't want to have, for lack of a better word, like a mask where it doesn't, like your face and your neck don't match. And so when I do make sure that I match to my neck so that it is all one color. And then for the type of product you will use that based on the type of skin that you have. So my skin is generally a little bit oily. And so most of my products are geared towards oily skin. They have products for oily skin, sensitive skin, dry skin, and then just your normal everyday skin. But I will say, be aware of if your skin is actually oily, or if your skin is dehydrated. Because if you're not getting enough water in your system or taking your vitamins or doing those things, then your skin, what happens is if you don't moisturize, your skin starts to overproduce oil and then you become oily. And you're going to use all of these products to try to mattify or fix the oil, and in turn become even more oily, because your issue, it may not necessarily be that you are oily. Your issue is just that your skin doesn't have enough hydration. So make sure that we are drinking our water and that we are moisturizing. And then if our skin is still oily, we may just have oily skin, but you may see a difference because you've given your skin what it wants. It's when I learned that, I was like, what? You're telling me I'm not, well, I was still oily, but you're telling me that I may not be oily with this abundance of oil on my face? Make it make sense. And it couldn't, because the body does what it wants to do. So I will say that if you think that you are oily, go ahead and get a good moisturizer. Make sure that you are drinking your water, and then come back in maybe 60 days and say, you know what? Maybe I'm not oily. I just wasn't hydrating, or I wasn't getting enough water or moisturizing my face. That's my soapbox. I'm going to step down off of it. And we are going to continue. So we are going to start with the eyes. As I said before, we are going to do a softer, but also still bomb look today. So we are going to use, I'm going to be using 2 palettes. Excuse the look of them. They've been with me through some things. So we have the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And then we also, by her again, is the Soft Glam palette. So both of those palettes, and I'll open them. I always keep the plastic in there just in case it decides to spill out, because like I said, they've been with me through some things in some places. So these are not all of the colors that we're not going to use every single one of the colors, but this is more of a glowy sort of look. And your Modern Renaissance is a little more, they are different, gives you a little more fall. As you can see, I have my go-to colors. This is the 3rd one that I've gotten just for these 2 colors, and it's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. So what we're gonna do is we are going to start by putting a solid color that is about the complexion, our natural complexion, over our whole eye so that we have one color. So I mix colors because my undertones are olive and gold, which is always fun to try and find something that matches. So I'll be using raw sienna and then the burnt orange, clearly a little more raw sienna than the burnt orange. So I'll rub that in and try to get it on my whole brush. And then what you want to make sure you do is tap off your excess so that you don't have an abundance of product and then it's loose on your lid. So we're going to tap this onto our lid and make sure, maybe we can get it on the right side. Tap this onto our lid, and we're going to tap it all the way up to our brow bone.
So Sister Mariah, as you're working, I'm just going to check in with the family and see how we're moving along. Are we also applying makeup right now, family? Are we getting ourselves dialed up? I know many for tomorrow are getting themselves prepped and primed for their special connections and relationships that they have with their significant others or spouses. Any special plans that you might have, and if so, you know, are we getting ourselves together in terms of our makeup? What are we doing in terms of getting our physical appearance, you know, prepped and dolled up for tomorrow? So anybody, please share and jump in the conversation, ask any questions of Sister Mariah, or also any tips or things that you do in terms of your approach to makeup.
Good morning.
Kaisha. Oh, who's that? Good morning.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Okay. It's Sister Gina. Let me come on camera. I know I am trying to follow along with you this morning, Mariah, because it's been a long time. With COVID, we've been in the house, and when you do go out of the house, you don't put on makeup. I don't. I was never a big makeup wearer anyway, but sometimes I would put it on, you know. But with COVID and the mask, it just became something you stopped doing. So I appreciate you doing this with us today, and I'm going to try to hang in there. And I got my little stuff, and I'm trying to follow along. So thank you.
Come on, we got this. We're gonna do it together. We got it.
All right, thank you.
No problem. So our next step is we're gonna do a brown look. That way we can match that, put that together with pretty much any lipstick, because the lipstick is important, you know. So we're gonna do a brown look, and we're gonna start, instead of starting from the top, we're gonna start from the bottom and blend up so that we kind of diffuse that color. So it's stronger at the bottom and a little bit weaker at the top. So we're gonna go, instead of starting from the top and going down, we're gonna start from the bottom up. So I'm gonna take this, and once again, we see what colors I like. We're gonna take this antique brown and we're gonna mix it so they're both brown. This one is just a tinge darker. And so the antique bronze has a little bit of shimmer in it. I don't want too much shimmer. And so that's why we're gonna mix it with the Cypress Umber. So I just have, and this is the brush that came with the palette. So we're gonna use this brush just because it came with the palette. So you don't need much. So I could have used this brush to do the base color. I just didn't think about it, if we're honest. But next time I have that tip and trick in my head. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this end, and we're gonna, once again, we're gonna pat. We're gonna start at the bottom at our eyelash line and just kind of work up to the middle of our eye. So in the midst, it might look a little wild, but in the end, you're gonna be like, oh, that's what she was doing. So we're gonna, across our whole lid, we're gonna go right up to the middle using probably just one of the colors. I just use both of them out of habit. Remember that wherever you actually put your brush, wherever the first place it lands will be the heaviest. So we got a little raccoon eye going on, and that's okay. We're gonna continue. Trust the process.
Watching you, Sister Mariah, reminds me a little bit of that Bob Moss show back in the day, a little bit, you know, in terms of the arts, and it makes me wonder about, you know, just the level of artistry that comes with doing makeup, you know. For someone who doesn't see themselves as an artist, you know, what guidance and advice might you have?
I think the best thing is, well, one, YouTube is my favorite thing, but practice, just trying out, I call them weird combinations, because you normally would look at them and be like, why would I do that? But trying out different combinations, because you'll be like, oh, this might have looked weird, but this is actually it. I can actually do that. So just trying out different things, even if you're not leaving the house, sit down, put on a full face of makeup and say, yep, and then go wash it off. Because even though, I mean, I don't even look at myself as an artist. And so when y'all say that, I'm like, she's just a teacher, guys. That's what I do.
Your face is the canvas.
Yeah, I hear you. I do. But that's not something that I initially thought. And it really wasn't, if we're honest, until I started coming here and doing this with you guys that you're all like, oh no, this is art. And I'm like, I mean, I guess we're playing with colors, we're using different textures, we have to know chemistry and other things behind it. And I'm like, okay, it is a little bit of art. Not a little bit, it is artistry. So with art and with anything, practice, try it out, make mistakes, come back, say, okay, we're not going to do that again, and then come back. And I did see Ms. Gina in the chat say, you are not, there's no such thing as just a teacher, which your words have power. And I am working on that myself, of not minimizing what I do and who I am. Thank you for reminding me, I am not just a teacher, and you guys are not just artists or just members of this community. Like you guys are awesome. So practice makes perfect. Your words have power. I hope that's, I
That's
answered.
Perfect. I have a question, Mariah, because I think this goes back to the artistry. How do you choose the colors? So you've been here a few times and you've helped us get ready for Thanksgiving, get ready for Christmas. I would have picked, I was like, you know, red. We need red for Valentine's Day, and you're not doing that, right? So how do you choose the colors, and how do you know when it's like, ooh, that red would be too much for Valentine's Day? Do a natural beat versus, you know, anything else. How do you determine what you're going to look like for those holidays?
So one, based off of what you're wearing. So if I'm wearing red, I think it will just might be a little too much to have a red face, or it depends on the type of red. Because if I have orange red pants and I put on a blue red lip, it doesn't work for me in my mind. So sometimes it's just kind of hit or miss, because I've had a lot of misses, and those misses, they taught plenty of lessons, because I was just looking back at some of my pictures and I was like, ooh, why y'all let me leave the house like this? And this includes you, Shannon, because you let me leave the dorm. You allow me to leave the dorm.
Oh, well, that was your early years.
That's what I'm saying. Practice makes perfect.
Right.
But there is no such thing as perfection. And there is, like, I'm probably still gonna make a plethora of mistakes today, and it's okay. I think that's that's a really big, important part, is to know that you're gonna make mistakes, and it's okay. I make mistakes in my makeup all the time. I make mistakes in teaching all the time, but to step back and be like, oh, that wasn't right. Let's rewind. Or, hey guys, because kids need apologies too. Hey guys, I'm so sorry, that was wrong. Let's rewind. Be like, okay, Ms. Robinson. I'm like, thanks. Cool. Or they'll call me out on it. Or like, I would like anybody else to look at my makeup and say, don't do that again. Cool, call me out on it. Maybe not like that. You have to kind of know me to have that kind of relationship, to be
Don't
like,
do that again.
But you know, those kind of things, it's just a matter of trial and error. But if going back to your original question, so I want one focal point for the most part. So if I have a bright eye, I'm gonna have a nude lip. If I have a bright lip, I'm gonna have a nude eye. The only time that I might do a little bit heavier of both is if I have a red lip, but that's just me. Some people go heavy with everything. I used to wear black lipstick and have super black eyes and walk around like ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing. So it's also about your level of how comfortable you are with it as well. But I tend to, one is heavier than the other. Exactly.
Balance it out. Cool, thank you.
Okay, so now, but we are gonna add a little bit of a kind of love letter, or what is this? Venetian red. And that's the color that we're gonna use. And we're gonna use the other end of our brush. This is the blending, the crease side. We're gonna use this end and we're gonna tap, tap, take off. And that's how we're gonna kind of diffuse within our crease that color. So before we do that, I'm also just going to try to get rid of this harsh line. And we're just going in small circles and blending up.
I have a comment, Mariah, and as Chantel and Kamal was sharing, I was definitely thinking, as an artist myself, this is definitely art, and you're definitely an art teacher. And at this particular time in what you share, I was also thinking about what inspires you. Chantal asked a very similar question as far as you mentioned about the colors of the clothing you wear. I was thinking more like nature, like flowers. And the other thing was your level of blending, that technique. And one of the toughest things to do in portrait art, and I do a lot of makeup, but I'm painting on canvas when I'm doing that, painting other people's makeup. So the blending is where I would imagine a lot of practice will come in, especially on the surface of the face. I've done makeup before. Living in LA and being in the entertainment industry, I was a makeup assistant for one of my friends who is a makeup artist, and we worked on videos together. And it was always, as much as an artist that I am, I always felt intimidated when it came to doing makeup, because I like to, if it's not something I'm familiar with, I like to have a reference. And I would imagine as a makeup artist, maybe there's certain people that you admire for their style of makeup and stuff like that. Or references as far as people or tutorials or palettes, certain blends of palettes that you may follow. I found that I know that would definitely help as far as going through this process.
It definitely does. I have a Pinterest board. And then generally I'll go on Google and I'll try to look for someone who's about my complexion. So like, ooh, Pinterest is dangerous, Chantel. Pinterest is very dangerous. So I'll try to go to, I'll look up a brown smoky eye, and then I'll type in Black woman. And then I'll try and search through to find someone who's my complexion to say, okay, this is something that I like. Or I'll find someone who's a different complexion and say, how can I flip this to try and make this match me? Also, that's a part of, once again, I know that my undertones are like, I look better with gold, rose gold, any type of yellow gold, gold. Those type of colors are better for me. And so if there's like a silver look, I may not do that, because that is not something that I know is going to bring out the best in me. You can also do things best for me. You can also do things based on your eye color. So I can't remember off of the top of my head, but I know for me, for brown eyes, any shade of brown eyes, purple brings out the brown in your eyes. And if you put any sort of purple around, whether it be in your waterline or on your lid, your eyes are gonna pop. For me, I like to put blue or green. So green, especially because I have a little bit of fleck of green in my eyes. And so that make that so much brighter, because it's like, whoa, hey, you didn't look like that before. So knowing, one, what you look like with and without makeup. And once again, just kind of playing around, because like I said, I tried green and I was like, oh, I'm gonna stick with this. This is where it's at. So just kind of looking, Google is my best friend. Google, and like I said, Pinterest, and finding people who look like you, or looking at looks like, if I've seen Rihanna on the red carpet, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try it. And I'll sit in here and I'll try, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna try that again. We can't leave the house. And I'll come and go somewhere, and my dad's like, oh, where are you going? I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm just gonna go wash my face right quick. So it's just a matter of you playing and looking. And I know that makeup, it is definitely, doing makeup is an investment, because there's a lot of things that go into it. And because it's such a trial and error, I have a lot of palettes that I bought and I'm like, I probably won't use it. But because I'm slightly a makeup junkie, I'm not taking it back. So now I'm going to use it on somebody else. Or even, so next weekend I have to do my friend is having a baby shower, and she said, hey, can you do my makeup? I was like, oh yeah, send me a look. And she sends me this extensive look. So next week, throughout the week, I'm going to be practicing on myself to ensure that I can find something that I like and find a technique that I like to then before the shower, try it out on her. So once it's that practice, it doesn't matter how much knowledge and how much of an expert you are, you can still do well with practice, and you can still learn. Like I said, the internet is my best friend.
I definitely agree with you. You know, one thing, and it's very short, that I was thinking about what works for me when I am painting, and this came up in another Wool session recently. It puts me in a meditative state. Like, I enjoy the relaxing inner feel that I get from just stroking and blending and creating. I would imagine doing makeup is part of the same process. Like, even if you're not going anywhere and you just made yourself up, the fact that you are doing the makeup, you're meditating, and then the result of feeling beautiful. And I know that the mirror reflection is not just for the outside beauty, but the internal beauty when it comes as far as creating the process. I can imagine that doing makeup would have the same feel.
It does. It's like a euphoric feeling. I'll do my makeup just to clean the house. Why did I put on a whole face of makeup? I don't know. But now I feel better, and I just feel like, a bad lady as I'm walking around in my onesie and my headscarf. So it does. When you look better, you feel better. And that's not just about like, oh, I have to work out, I have to look this certain way, but just those very small things are important. And I didn't realize how important it was until I stopped doing it. So when I started doing it again, I was like, oh, well, everything is not good, but I do feel a little bit better. So try it. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to use that pink or that red. And so we've already diffused it, so there's not as harsh of a line. And we're going to go over where we diffused with that color. And we're going to, once again, buff it out. So it's more of like 2 tones. And when I buff, we're going in a windshield wiper motion, but also in little circles. And remember, wherever you put your brush first is where it's going to be the heaviest. So tend to start on the outside because you can diffuse that in, or you can turn it into a whole different smoky eye. So we're going to bring this color down into the brown, but also lighten it up to the top of your brow.
Doing that, I'll read a couple of the chats. Gina said, thanks y'all helping me understand my diva daughter. Speaking of that, I have 2 daughters, and 12 and 8. Is there a suggested time frame for starting, begin the process of having them explore in this way, just in terms of their own development and their own identity? When did you start in terms of exploring, and what age do you recommend that you start to get those kits?
That's a great question. I can't remember. So my mom used to sell Mary Kay, and so did my aunt. And so there's a difference between when I actually was able to start and when I used to sneak and try and just try it out. So I would say that I used to sneak and just try it out probably like 8 or 9. And it wasn't until I was probably in 9th grade that I was actually allowed to leave the house with something very basic as colored lip, not just clear lip gloss, but the colored lip gloss with a little bit of glitter in it. And I thought I was doing something until I was like, oh, you have on a full face. It's up to you. But also telling them or reminding them and yourself oh, I don't necessarily need makeup. And so I think that's the part that's really important to instill in our youth is that it's not necessary to have makeup. So I don't have to go out the house and look beat every day. My makeup is not my identity, but saying this is something that's just going to enhance what I already got. So I think when you think your daughters are ready to are ready and understand that this is not something, this is not a mask, this is not going to cover anything else, this is just going to take what I have and like level it up. But it's already here inside of you. The best canvas and the best foundation is your face, is you. We just want this a little bit of glow. I want you, that's it. That's all.
Amal, that's a great question because it makes me think of, especially for young women, right? If your clothes are too tight, if anything, we do anything, it's, I don't want to say used against us, but it's like, we have to watch out for other people because we don't want men to look at young women a certain way. And we always have to do the work of dressing a certain way and carrying ourselves a certain way, to not entice men. And so it makes me think of, you know, a little girl might just want to play in makeup and just explore. But sometimes we want to say, oh, that's you're being too grown. That's too grown. And it's like, but, you know, is makeup supposed to be fun and not supposed to be seen that way? And we weaponize it sometimes, you know, and maybe that makes it so that some people don't want to explore, or, you know, it just makes it harder to dig in and play around as a kid. So I just wanted to share that because sometimes we throw that out for young women. You know, you're acting too grown, you look too grown. And it's like, it's makeup. You know, it's not my fault what it might do to others. So I just wanted to share that.
I think that's dope. So the next thing that we're gonna do, because that's our eye. Guys, we're done with our eye. We used 3 colors. So all I did at the end was I noticed that I was a little bit heavy at the top. And so I took the brush that I began with and did that base nude facial color. I took that brush and I just kind of diffused or patted it along that line so that it wasn't as harsh of a line. So that's all I did there.
I see that Hattie had a question around the black eyeliner pencil. She wanted to know, do you use that to line your eyes?
I definitely do. Yes. So this pencil, I believe, is L'Oreal. So this is not a pencil. Let me fix that. This is a liquid liner. And so I'll use liquid liner on the top of my lid. And then I'll use a kohl liner on, and this is LA Girl, I think it's like jet black, super black. I'll use this in my waterline. You can use this just in on your top lid. I tend to like that stark line, but I like it to be thin because I don't plan on wearing lashes today. And the thicker the line is on the top of your lid, the shorter your lashes look. So I'll use, or I won't even use eyeliner on the top sometimes just so I can really make them look super, super long. But today, just to kind of complete this look, we're going to use just a black, this is a liquid liner. They have a lot of, this is also a liquid liner. This is a pencil, but it has a felt tip. So this one you would just, sorry, this one is tried out. Might be inking this one. No. This is also a felt tip. So there's the difference of the felt tip. And then this one is a brush. So the felt tip is just a little bit thicker. Your brush, you'll have a point. It'll be a little bit easier to get a point. You may have a little bit more control on the felt tip, but that brush, if you want to do like a cat eye, it'll give you a little bit more of that like flick. So we're going to use a brush today just because honestly. So it's just a black. I'll brush off that excess so that it's not an intense amount. And you don't want to pull your skin back too much because we don't want to cause wrinkles. Gravity does enough. So we're literally just going to pull it so that it is a straight line so that we can get in as close as possible. And so I'm going to open this so that I can stay in the camera versus in my mirror. We're just gonna go right across on the waterline. And at the end, if we want, we can do a little flick. And one thing, just like with our eyebrows, we want twins. We want identical twins. I can take sisters. We do not want distant cousins. And what that means is we want them to look as close as possible, but it is okay if it is not perfect. For example, see the space right here? That space should not be there. So we're gonna go in and we're just gonna clean that up, which just means we're gonna go in and we're gonna start from the outside and pull our brush in. And we're gonna close that gap. And then I'll just go back over top and thicken that line so that you can actually see it. And there is our right eye. We're gonna go through and do the exact same thing on our left eye. Once again, we are going for twin sisters, just not distant cousins. I know that I still get, me and my sister are 3 years apart. So like I may get 2 different sisters, but it's okay because we're still related. We used to look alike. You can walk up and be like, oh yeah, that's your sister. But sometimes with your cousins, you're going like, they could be related, but I'm not sure. So we're gonna go for that look also on our eyes. Once again, we're gonna pull this back just a teach. Try and get as straight as a line. Also, when you pull too much, your lid gets little creases in it and it'll look like kind of jagged if you pull your lid like up or over or down too much. So we don't want to do that. And so that's why we just as little as possible manipulate our eye. Look over here and see how we're gonna do this. And we're gonna try.
Mariah, I want to share something I'm thinking here. This is where it will become very intimidating for me. And it makes me question about the room for error. And do you ever come up with like new styles, or as you're doing this, do you ever like decide to have a different process because of a mistake that may have made or something? Like, what's the room for error here?
So like if I messed up on this, what could I do?
Yes. Like,
okay. So if I was doing like a thicker cat eye or concealer is my best friend. And so if there was a mess up here, or like my shadow went too far out on one side, I would take a concealer brush. Usually it's this one that's a little flat. I will use my concealer and I would just clean up wherever it is that has kind of that mistake, or we can lean into it and make it a part of our.
Yes, it's what I do with art. And as you say concealer versus primer earlier, I'm thinking, okay, so the concealer is like an eraser or like a primer over something that you want to go over again, or it's very I'm like really invested in this process this morning. And I'll tell you why. I'm not a big fan of makeup because it always, to me, it seemed like a deception, coming from a man's point of view. But this morning, I can really respect coming from an artist's point of view, the artistry of it. And then when we talked about the fact that, it makes you feel good, and you put on makeup just to clean the house or something. I can have a lot more respect for women who do go through this process for the personal self-esteem, to feel better. It's not really about the look, it's about the way they feel on the inside. So this helped me in that, even for the eyelashes, I'm like, why the eyelashes? It's artistry, it's art, it's a process. And it helped me a lot this morning in viewing it that way.
Thank you. I think it's really important to remember, we do this, anybody who does this, we do this for me. You just get the benefit of looking at me. But no, I do this for me. Because I enjoy doing it and I enjoy the outcome. And like you said, it is extremely therapeutic just to sit here and, for lack of a better term, color on my face and finding out new ways and new colors and new combinations. And I'm gonna try this zigzag. Don't try zigzag if you're not ready. I wasn't ready. I thought I was. It just came out looking like, but like trying out these new things to learn, like, hey, zigzag is not for me, or these extreme, I like more neutral, natural looks. And so that's what I'll go for. And I had to go through this phase in time where I don't do this extremely heavy contour, because when I tried that, I was just like, I don't look like me anymore. But there are some people who they love that look and they do that for themselves. So you just have to kind of always remember that anything that you do is for you. Others just get the benefit of like enjoying your work or enjoying you or enjoying the product of whatever it is that you have. But like, I'm sure that you do your art because that's you. That's what you love. Or you told us earlier, you write children's book. You enjoy to do that. The benefit is that other children and other people get to enjoy your art from something that comes from you. So
makeup could go so deep.
Yeah,
so many messages in that.
Yeah, so many, Chantal. I was just thinking, I definitely I can see myself now as you're speaking. I going in my mind thinking, oh, I can come up with compliments, for a woman who have took the time, especially if she did it herself, to do the makeup. Like it made me feel different from the inside now that I've changed my perception of what makeup means to a woman and what the process is. I think at more men, I have a lot of friends who are not fans of makeup for the same deceptive reason in the way they look at it. But when you look at it through the eyes of an artist and in the even as a spiritual being and what this does for a person, like when I get my hair done or my beard trim, it's for me. I look good, but it's really for me and how I feel, and just go through the day and with more joy and feeling better about ourselves. Like I can definitely respect that. Like you just don't. I don't know if you understand how that has changed my perception in this first hour. It's amazing. I love it.
I'm glad because I've met plenty of people, of men who were like, I don't like that you wear makeup. And I was like, do you want me to tell you what I don't like? I mean, if we're sharing, we can share. And then like, oh no, don't do it. But it's a matter of, if that's not your preference, that's not your preference. But understand that, like you said, the artistry and the calm, and like, this is something that I enjoy. So if you don't like it, like, you don't have to enjoy it. But then leave me alone about it. So I hear you. And I'm glad that your perception has changed, period. It's dope. So the last thing that we're gonna do when it comes to our eyes is we're gonna put the liner, this is a kohl liner, we're gonna put this inside of our waterline. And so you don't have to do this. Many people don't like this feeling, and I understand. So we're just gonna pull our eyelid down and it's just gonna go right in that waterline. So I'm gonna do one eye, and so that you can see the difference between the two. We're just gonna pull this down a little bit and right on our lash line.
Come on, John, you got to respect that. That's intimidating. That technique itself. Mariah, I have a question about the concealer that you mentioned before. So does the concealer, like John said, is kind of an eraser? Does that alleviate if you took a tissue, it just alleviates that smushing of the makeup. Okay.
So if you take a tissue, unless you have product on it, not product, but like makeup remover on it, it'll, that'll remove it and give you that stark line. But sometimes if it's just a dry tissue, you'll end up kind of irritating your skin and you're rubbing around that product. So instead of it just being gone, it's now like dispersed across the side of your face. So I'll take that concealer and just put it right on top and cover it right on up so that it's gone. So so that you don't see it anymore. It's not gone, it's just underneath, and that's okay. Because conceal, don't feel, as Elsa said. So this is the difference between the looks. So you can see this one is a little more sultry, for I think is the best word that I'm going to use. It's finishes, so it's a full effect, and this one is a little bit more lighter. And so if I wasn't going for like a Valentine's Day look, I might not put the concealer on the bottom of my eye. Not the concealer, the liner on the bottom of my eye, only because it closes off your eye. And so this one, you can see that it's not closed. So one way to kind of balance I don't want to say much attention, but one way to sort of balance it is either put concealer on the top or on the bottom. But if you want like a full kind of sultry look, you'll put it in all the way around, but it does close off your eyes. So if you already have smaller eyes, this will make them look even smaller. If you have big eyes, it will make them look smaller. But when you don't close it off, this eye does look a little bit bigger, but your attention is probably more drawn to the eye that has that liner, because it is a little bit more like, oh, what's going on there? So I'm gonna put it on both sides just because I do. But like I said, it's going to draw some attention. So right after we finish this. Cool. So we have finished our eyes. And so if nothing else, we have our eyes done. So if you need to go, I am so happy that you joined us here today. It is 8:00. So I know some friends have to go and, we got to go to church, or we have to get the kids ready to do our Sunday activities. So if you have to go, I appreciate you for joining us today. Once again, you could have been anywhere, but you chose to hang out with us, and we appreciate it. And we appreciate you. So if you do have to go, the only thing that we're going to do now is put on the rest of our foundation. We're going to do foundation, concealer, if needed, foundation, concealer, blush, and highlight. And that's it. And spray our face down to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. So I did want to give you guys the time check. It's 8:00. If you need to leave, we appreciate you for joining us today. So we have finished, like I stated, we have finished our eyes. I'm going to set those things aside so they are not in my view. So the next thing that we're going to do is, recently I have been. Yes,
Mariah, may I? This is really awesome. I don't wear makeup, right? But I love wearing makeup. I only do it for like really special occasions. But I'm glad that I dropped in, because it's so funny, because I would put my makeup on first and then do my eyes. So this is really good. I'm learning. I've been doing it wrong all this time.
No. Don't say it's wrong. It's not wrong, because there are some people who do their makeup for their like foundation and all that first, and then their eyes. I used to use loose powders and glitters and all sorts of things on my eyes. And so what would happen is I would put it on, and then it will fall into my foundation. And so then I would have to pick that out. And I just got annoyed with having to wipe off everything that I just did to have to put it back on. So then I started doing my eyes first, and then going through and doing the rest of my face. But there is no wrong way. You can I use an eyeliner brush to do stuff with my lips. There is no wrong way to doing this. So no, you didn't do it wrong. There was no wrong way. That's the way that you chose to do it. So you can do it whichever way. I just, from the looks that I used to, well, still sort of do, but the looks that I was doing, I was having a lot of fallout because it was loose pigment. And so when I tried to wipe it off, it was that smear, but I couldn't just do the concealer to cover it up because that was just egregious at that point. So that's the only reason.
And then one last thing, I noticed how you put the liner on the bottom of your lashes, right? And see, I've always been afraid to do that because I'm thinking it's going to get in my eye and then that's going to cause me an issue, but that's not a concern for you.
So we're going to get really close so you can see exactly where we're putting it. So I'm not putting it underneath, but we're going to pull that eye down and there's a little lid. There's just that lid that's right there on your lash line. And that's where we're putting it. So we're not going like super in. We're just pulling it down just a tinch, and where your lashes are growing out of your face, that is where that liner is going to go.
Okay, awesome. And it does make your eye smaller. So I don't do that because my eyes are tiny. Thank you.
You can put it on your top. I would put a little bit of eyeliner on just your top and leave that bottom open. Or if you want to make your eyes like pop a little bit bigger, put white in your waterline and that'll make your eyes look bigger. Or just a very like a light brown, like something that's about your complexion. It'll make your eyes pop and look bigger. So dark makes them smaller, light makes them bigger.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So recently I've been on I don't want full coverage foundation thing in my makeup journey because I've started wearing it to work again. And so what I've been doing is I'll put the concealer under my eye to cover up those dark circles from lack of sleep and immense amounts of coffee. And then I'll put on a powder. That's my complexion. So now we're going to take our concealer brush, which I think I just got this from Ulta. It's just a round fluffy brush. And this is Lancome. This is actually a full coverage concealer. And this is in the shade Suede 435s or Praline 10. I haven't worked at Sephora for some years, so I don't remember why we have two different colors. So I take this and I just put a little bit under my eyes here and here and here and here, and then we'll buff it out. I use this all? No, what's a little bit here? Okay. Good morning, Dad.
As you're doing that, Sister Mariah, this has been very compelling. Like John, I'm experiencing some paradigm shifting going on.
He's always popping in. Like on a regular
Grand Rising, Dad.
Put on the Netflix for him again.
Right. So we're really just gonna tap this in. I'm sorry, please.
No problem. I just was curious to know, like the intentionality around looks, right? So sometimes, again, I'm hearing occasion can help to be the intention behind a look, personal feeling around a look. What's the look for today that you're going for, and is it based off of your own personal need to affirm or celebrate yourself in a certain way, or is it kind of based off of the type of activities that you're going to be involved in today? Just curious.
So today I wanted to, I want to give everybody a Valentine's Day look, right? But then the other thing is I wanted to make it in a way that it took a little longer because we've had conversation, but I want to give us a look that everybody could do, no matter what your comfort level is. I put a lot of concealer on and I didn't mean to. what your comfort level is in makeup. So I wanted to give us something that was quick, easy, and everybody was able to do. I know that I sing for my church. So when I have to sing, I may do a heavier makeup look because we're on stage and it's all those lights, and I don't want to drown out within that. So I'm going to continue answering, but we're about to put on some powder, and I put it on top of this so that it blends everything out. We're going to buff this into the skin. Excuse me. So I know that when I put my makeup on, I'm going for, excuse me, I'm sorry, whatever look it is that I am, what do I want to exude today? Do I want to exude, oh, teacher Mariah? Do I want to exude, oh, we about to be in these streets, Mariah? Like, who am I today? If for lack of, better, better terms, better words. So we are not going in with a normal foundation. I can pull this down. So we are really just going to buff into our skin this kind of powder. It is not kind of this powder foundation. Making sure that we get our jawline so that we don't have lines of demarcation, which means that we have that line that you can tell, oh, she has makeup on, because right there it stops. So even when you use your powder, you're gonna make sure that you get in under there. Make sure that you also get the crease of your nose. I'm not picking my nose. I just wanna make sure that I get the crease of it, because that's another way where it's like something is off there because your nose has nose creases. I just got the nose ring as of, I guess it's not just, I got it in March of last year, I believe. And so I'm still trying to get used to doing makeup without it. And we're gonna go in and just kind of buff this into our skin on is it getting in your hair? So I do put a tinge in my hairline only because you have your scalp and your face are two different complexions, because your scalp does not get in your hairline, does not get as much sun as the rest of your face. So I will put a little bit into my hairline so that you still, once again, don't have that line, that kind of mask and that line of demarcation of this is where her face stops and the makeup stops and this is where she begins. That's not the case. So I want to make sure that I do put just a tinge inside of my hairline, but throughout the day, it doesn't stay, and that's okay. But it does help to alleviate that look of demarcation. So we have finished with our foundation. We can go in if you want and do that contour look, but we're also going to get that with blush and with a little bit of blush and our highlight. So right now I have the this is the Ulta Beauty Flush Blush and Natural Finish, and it's in the shade Retro Rose. So I see Miss Hattie has a question of, do you have a preference between your powder and your liquid foundation? Liquid foundation can be a little bit of a full coverage. So right now I'm not going for a full coverage, but if I wanted to, especially if I have a lot of blemishes, I might go for a full coverage, or if I'm going to something where I need it to be a little bit heavier, I will go for a liquid. Right now, because I'm just doing this concealer thing that I got going on, I'm just doing the concealer and the powder. Even though you use powder foundation, you will still want to you still need to put on your primer to help it stick. So I know that in the past, I believe that if I use powder foundation, then I didn't have to use primer, and that was not the case, because by the end of the day, my makeup was completely gone. And I wasn't doing anything but standing in front of the classroom. So you still need to put on your primer, but that is really just up to preference and comfortability. So I know that with the liquid foundation, it does take a little bit more to make sure that you get that on and get it on evenly. With powder, you can really just brush it on. It is a little bit easier. So I took my foundation, I took my blush, and we don't want to smile. I still smile just because I'm always smiling, but you don't want to smile because you're going to manipulate your face. So I want it to be in a place where I am just where it looks natural. And then when I do smile, it's not something that's egregious. We also aren't going to put it just on the balls of our face. So we're going to put it right past the ball of our face and bring it up so that you looked, I like to call it cheeky. Like, you know, you're doing a little flirt with somebody, you just get a little flushed, but I don't want to look like I'm hot. Like I got too much sun and I need to go inside and get some water. So I just push that in. And that's how we're also going to build up this distinction of your kind of jawline, because we're pushing it in right above there. And we're going to do the same on the other side. We're going to start, and once again, we're not going right on the balls of our cheeks. And you can, I don't, because that's not naturally where I look a little flushed. If I ever start to turn red, it starts right in here. Or if I'm like nervous about something, you can always see in there. So that's kind of what you want to go for. Once again, you want to go for cheeky, not overheated. And then the last thing that we are going to do is we're going to put on our highlight. It's not the last thing because we still have to put on mascara. So this highlight is broken. This is a cheeky bronze mineralized finish, and it's by MAC. So clearly this is also one that I like. It is like a rose gold and it has golden flecks. So I'm just taking, this is a Juvia's Place. It's a highlight brush. So I'm just swirling it around once again, brush tapping off that excess. And we're going right above where we put our blush. So here's our jawline. We put our blush in the middle, and we're going to put this on our cheekbone and place it right on top of our cheekbone. And we're not placing, I won't say just a dot, not a lot, but we want to be like when you just turn, it looks like you got hit a little bit of sun. So this one is, I like this one for your more everyday kind of highlight look, because it is not heavy and you can build it up to whatever it is that you desire. And so we're going to put that right on the top of our cheekbone. And then I like to do just right down the middle. If you put on the ball of your nose, I think you look like a Who from Whoville. And so I choose not to do that. And so I'll put it right here because you want your highlight to be where the light hits. So I want that light to hit down the bridge of my nose on the tops of my cheeks. You can put it in your Cupid's bow, and you can also put it right here at the edge of your brow bone, right where that light is going to hit. So there is your, that is our look. The last thing that we're going to do, last two things, we're going to put on our Professional. So this is just a setting spray. So it's that last, I would call this like top coat. So if you paint your nails, you know, usually they'll give you that clear so it doesn't damage your nails, and that'll be your primer. You get the color, which is what we just did. then you get that clear top coat to make sure that it lasts a little bit longer. That's what we're gonna do here with this Professional. So it's just a setting spray. They have we have different ones. So this is one and it's by NYX. So you have one that's gonna help mattify you. You have some that'll keep you kind of looking misty. You have some that'll just help your skin look normal. So once again, I like for my face to be a little bit matte. And so most of mine are long lasting and they'll have a matte finish so that I don't have oil, because my oil likes to seep through. So while I might have no shine or shimmer on my face right now, by the end of the day, I could probably grease a horse. So, and that's okay. So we're gonna hold this about a foot away from our face and we're just gonna spray. I spray in an X and then a circle just to ensure we get this whole thing. So and I will say, be a little careful if you have nails, because I like to do this and it'll cover up that spray. And I'm like, why is it not hitting my face? Well, my finger's covering it. So sometimes you can just put it to the side, but I know some of us have nails, so just be careful when you have nails, and maybe not be careful, but be aware that you might be covering up that spray nozzle. And we're gonna put on our mascara. This is not the one that I wanna use. Actually gonna use, this is Superfan by Smashbox, and it's in the shade, I think it's just black. I think it's the only color that they have. Yep, it's black. The brush is what I like about it. It gives my lashes a like a fanned out look, but it makes them look bigger and longer. So we're gonna go ahead and we start at the bottom, and I like to shake it so that I can get that whole lash covered. And so I'm not like shaking it across, but I'm just kind of, doing a little vibration across and going all the way up so I can ensure that the bottom of that lash gets full coverage. And I'll go through in the top. And when I go on the top, I'll turn it. And I can't tell if you can see my hand is turning. So we're gonna swoop up, but we're also gonna turn it so that once again, that whole lash is getting product. So start at the base of our lash and we're gonna wiggle up to ensure that that whole lash is getting product on it. And we're gonna do the same thing on the top and swoop up. And we might go back in to ensure that our lashes aren't like clumped out, super clumpy or anything like that. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Not vibrating, but let's just call it wiggling. We're wiggling it up to the very tip of our lash. This is the part where it helps being ambidextrous of just switching, I'm both handed. So I'll just switch my hands, but it sometimes can be a little bit difficult going across your chest. And so I'll just switch hands, but you'll go and flip it. And once again, you'll wiggle it up to the end of your lash. And on top of your lashes, you're gonna start at the base, wiggle and pull it up to ensure that your whole lash is getting product. Go through and separate them. And then at the bottom, we are going to do the exact same thing. I don't make it super heavy at the bottom. For me, on my face, it looks like spider legs because my eyes are bright. And so it's like, ooh, what's going on there? So I will put something there so that you can see that I do have bottom lashes, but it won't be super heavy. And there is our face. The last thing that we are going to do is, you know what? I'm going to let y'all choose. I have a pink for Valentine's Day, and we have a red. We're going to play, I'm going to sing the Jeopardy theme song, and in the chat, you can tell me whether we're going to do pink or red. Are we ready? I'm about to sing it in the chat. Tell me, we're going to do pink or red. All right. Let's see what we have.
I went for pink, but it looks like I'm outvoted. John, yeah. Got Gina red, Chantel red, John red.
Guess what we're gonna be doing then? We're gonna be doing red.
That Valentine's Day red.
Oh, wow. Everybody went to
So a question,
conventional.
I like the pink also,
Mariah,
but it's
when
Valentine's.
I apologize. Mariah, when I look at your face, absolutely gorgeous. The pink just seemed like it would be perfect. However, I wanted the red because it's Valentine's Day, but that it just seemed like the pink would have been perfect. So is there a way I should have made that decision?
They both would work because of the colors that we use, because we use more neutral colors, earthy tones. Both of those would have worked. And because I just have on black and jeans, and I'm putting on a white blazer, either one would have worked. I think Valentine's, I think either pink or red, which is the only reason that we had those decisions. I've also done a purple with this look, or we could have done nude. Y'all being conventional. Everybody's being conventional, but it's okay. Next time we'll do pink. How about that? We'll just do pink next time. But we can do, it didn't necessarily matter which one, because of the kind of nuder look. I know that on camera, I feel like this is pulling a little bit, the top of my eye might be pulling, a little bit more pink, but it is in person, it's brown and more like just a neutral color. So either one would have worked. I think it just depends on what you wanted. So today we will be using, I'm already getting my, this is like an eyeliner brush, and we're gonna use this when we mess up on our lips to make sure that our lips are like giving us that good look. But this will help me to conceal, to make sure that I'm not going out of my boundaries. So this is the Juvia's Place in Nefertiti. It's red. This is a blue red, so it will pull out like your deeper. It will pull out like a little bit deeper versus your brighter kind of orange red. So I will too, because I have a Cupid's bow and I don't like to cover it. We're gonna put an X at our Cupid's bow, and then we're just kind of fill in the rest.
So as you're applying the red lipstick, I just had a question in terms of the time commitment. People in the morning, you're seasoned, you kind of know how to maneuver. We were an hour and a half, so you had some conversation in between time, but generally speaking, how much time should people give themselves in order to?
It depends on how invested the look is. So, okay, wipe it off and do the pink. I will do that for you. So it depends on the look that you're going for. So this one is, I would say this one will generally take me about 30 minutes outside of having the conversation. But in the mornings, generally, I only spend about 5 to 7 minutes on my face because I'm doing a very natural nude, just concealer and eyeliner look. So it depends on what you are going for. So I know if I'm going out, I'll spend a little bit more time on that versus not. I don't know if this is gonna wipe off as easy. I can use it as a red liner. We're gonna make it work.
Thank you for being flexible with us.
I got you. Everybody, like you said, everybody wins.
Yeah.
And so even right now, I know that when I put this pink on, I'm gonna have some underneath. And so this works so that I can show you all how to do the kind of wipe it off. Not wipe it off, but how to clean up the look.
So do you use like a dry tissue or a wipe would help?
This is a dry tissue. My makeup remover wipes are actually upstairs in the bathroom.
Oh, Kamal. He likes the red.
Well, you know, we can't please everyone. We can't.
No,
So
I had
this
to see it. I had to see it. It looks.
So this one is the lip bar in the shade Hot Mess. So it does, sometimes on camera, it does still pull red, but it's 100% a pink. I want to dry a little bit because what we're going to do now is we're actually going to line our lips. It is pink. I think it's still pulling red, but I promise that it is pink. When I look here, it is pink. We're going to line our lips, and this is also by Juvia's Place. This is the shade Scorpio. And so this is a plum. So
what was that you just did with that? What was that when you said you were drying your lips? Did you like breathe in and out from your lips? Okay, got it.
And that was only because I was trying to speed up the process so that I could put on the liner. Most times I can just put it on and walk away, but I want to get it a little bit more to speed up the process so that I can put on this liner so that I think it might pull pink a little bit more. And I like to ombre my lips so that you have a little bit of dimension. So we're gonna start at the bottom. And we're just going all the way around, Xing out. Or Cupid spell. It doesn't have to be. For me, this doesn't have to be the neatest because we're smushing our lips to kind of ombre this look. I'm gonna keep mushing. Because we're pulling that color in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that same concealer that we used. We're going to take a concealer. That's fine. That we've used, and we are going to, I put it on the back of my hand just so that I know that I have enough product. And this is almost gone. This is what I'm talking about with the brush that's not for your lips. We're going to take that and we're going to go around our lips to clean up where we got it outside. To give it a very crisp, clean look.
It's really amazing how the fine details really chisel it out. Yeah. You don't see it. You don't see it coming. You don't see it coming until after it's done.
And we are finished. And we can go about our day, or we can go upstairs and wash our face, whichever one you want to do. But this would be a look that I would go out with my significant other, and we would, or clean the house. I would do both, actually. This is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it today, because
beautiful.
Do you have any questions that I can answer? But otherwise, we're finished.
Come on in, family. Any questions, final questions here? I would love to see anyone who have participated with you who would like to come off camera and show us their look. If any members in the community have done that. Gina, I know you were putting
Come on, Gina.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
No pressure.
Okay, let's see how this look.
Okay.
Come through,
Did I come off
Gina.
camera? Did I come off?
Come through.
Did it?
You look good.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Thank you,
Got the
Sister
earrings.
Mariah.
Gina.
Gina.
Yes, I had to
Where
get
you
my
going,
right.
Gina?
To make breakfast.
See?
But it'll be a beautiful breakfast. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sister Mariah.
No problem. I'm glad you look good.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the help.
You're welcome. Anybody else do it with us today?
I concur. Beautiful, Gina. Chantel.
I'm putting on makeup today. Thank you, sis.
I didn't do anything. Don't call on me, John. You're lucky I didn't put my bonnet back on.
Thank you so much, Sister Mariah. This was wonderful. I had no idea how powerful, how healing this process can be, how centering it can be. And, just getting the different perspectives around identity and image and intentionality, and helping to shape your intention around what you desire for the day and what you need for yourself. So that was the big takeaway for me. Grateful for being a part of this experience. So thank you.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you got, I'm glad that you got something from this. So as we wind down, if you ever want to get in contact with me, Chantel has put it inside of the chat. Once again, I'm Mariah Robinson. I'm on Facebook as Mariah Robinson, and I'm on Instagram as @4_ever_timeless. The best way to contact me is probably Instagram. I don't have my Facebook notifications on. More than likely it's Instagram. I will say that sometimes it's not just makeup on there. If you would like to donate or make a donation or love offering, you can use the Zelle Quick Pay email that you see on your screen, or Cash App $Spirit of a Woman with the code #521MR. All right, tomorrow, Valentine's Day, y'all. We have coming up a morning breath. I'm interested to see what that is like. It sounds and it feels as if it's very therapeutic. And we need some therapeutic vibes on Monday. And then Love, Light, and Play is on Tuesday. Both of those sound interesting. So I'm excited to see what I'm going to learn or participate in on our upcoming sessions.
Thank you so much, Mariah. I'll take it over from here. And I would like to welcome all of the newcomers, new members here in Woo. We welcome you this morning. I hope that you enjoy this session as much as I did. Like Kamal said, I got so much value from this session. We want to welcome you. We want you to come back. We have plenty more amazing facilitators like Mariah this morning lined up for you for the rest of the week and for the rest of the month and the rest of the year. Share that you're new and let our community welcome you, whether you're here in Zoom or on Facebook. And for you, again, this is our schedule. You can find us doing live Zoom workshops 5 days a week. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, we're on from 7 to 7:30. And we're always streaming these workshops live on Facebook. And if you would like to get our Woo alerts, so you'll never miss a juicy session, you can text you can text Woo Nation. Text the word Woo Nation to the number 74121. Again, Woo Nation to 74121. And for our community members, here are the final lists, the five finalists. Your vote can determine the title of our Woo anthology. So vote. We have the link posted in the chat. It's in the Zoom chat. It's in Facebook. Do it now. Click the link and vote for your title for our Woo anthology. And the Woo Swag Store. Line bit.ly/Woo Swag. Check out the merchandise we have. Enjoy and celebrate with our community. Celebrate the gifts of what you've learned. Do so by wearing the colors. Hope to see you in the street. Woo in the street, everybody. And thank you so much for joining us again. And this is how you can stay in touch. bit.ly /wake up move. Sorry. You can register. And let me reverse that. You can register bit.ly /wake up movement. You can find us on Facebook. bit.ly /Woo community for a private group, and bit.ly /Woo Nation for our public group. And on Instagram, we are at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. On YouTube, bit.ly /Woo on YouTube, or you can email us directly at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. Thank you so much, family. Now we would like to go to gallery view and share some love, a love shower with Mariah for this amazing session this morning. Show your faces too. If you've done the process, show your faces. Thank you so much, Mariah.
That was great, Mariah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mariah, for this presentation.
Yes, thank you.
Master
It
teacher.
was so much fun, and
Thank you. This was
yes,
beautiful.
it's a great way to start the day. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Happy
Mariah.
Valentine's to
Very
all of the
informative.
women.
Thank you,
on
Mariah.
This is a lot of fun.
This was fun to watch, and I especially like the men's perspectives. That was very interesting.
Mhm.
And like I said, my respect for the artistry have grown. I now see it in a whole different way, and I really appreciate you. I never know what you're going to learn here in Woo, and I have no clue what I was going to take.
Absolutely.
Away.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
I hope you all have a great
y'all.
Sunday.
I love y'all.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Sister Hattie. Bye-bye.